Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Hello World. Yes, it's great to see you guys again tonight. I was doing a whole lot of stuff um, before I got on. So, hey, how are you? Nice to see you, Corey. How was your day? And so I'm just now getting on to you. Ow. Okay. So I'm super hungry. And this is what I will be eating with you guys. It's not the healthiest thing, but guess what? It's the quickest thing I could find. Um, Let me tell you a story. So today I went to go dry my clothes at a laundromat. Now I'm not used to, really doing stuff at them. Oh, good. I'm glad. Did you go to New York? Um, so I'm kind of new at it, and the door didn't seem like it was closing. So I just switched the wet clothes to another thing. And I wasn't thinking. So I put the money in the machine that I didn't think was closed. And lo and behold, because of the pressure of the heat, it pulled it closed. So here I am looking crazy again because there's people around and I'm pretty sure they're looking like, what is this girl doing? So I had to transfer the clothes back up to the other dryer that had the money in it. So that's part of my little crazy episode that you can probably laugh at. And, you know, it is what it is. Um, so let's see, what can I talk about tonight? Mm, okay, let's just say we're all at work, right? Do you think that a person who may have a learning disability should tell their coworkers or, give that information that they do have a learning disability? Um, do you think that it should be something that during the hiring process that someone should, disclose whether you have a learning disability or not? And I'm not talking about like, oh, you can't function or do your job, but I mean just like a slight learning disability. So would you, if you had a learning disability, would you tell someone that? Okay. Um, the only reason why I'm asking is okay, so let's just say you have a coworker who just doesn't seem to like be on point with stuff and they just seem like, just not really all there with it. And you get frustrated thinking like, what are you doing? But meanwhile, it could be all along that they had a learning disability. So, do you think that by knowing if someone had a learning disability, you would be a little bit more patient with them or what? Like, I know if I had a learning disability, um, would I want to tell people? Maybe not, because I don't want them to think that I wouldn't be qualified enough to do my job. But at the same token, maybe I might say at least, I don't know. I don't know. What would you guys do? Would you divulge that you had a learning disability just so people would be more patient with you at your workplace or anywhere else? While you're pondering that, um, here's another thing I want to talk about. So let's just say, like I saw on Instagram today that Wendy Williams um, admitted that after her job, after working at the studio, she goes to like an in-house treatment facility for alcoholism. Um, would you feel sorry for someone like her? I mean, would you have, all right, let me not say feel sorry. Would you show compassion for someone like her, knowing that in her job title and her job role, she is there to expose people and, tell all their business? Do you think you'd be able to have compassion for her? Me, I think anybody who's going through situation such as an addiction of any kind, I think automatically for me, I would just want to be compassionate towards them. Um, I look at the human aspect and I feel like, let's see, I this is what Corey says. I think if there is a learning disability and that disability precludes you from carrying on basic day-to-day duties, it might be best to share that information with someone on the job you trust. Fair enough. I think that's fair enough. Fair enough. I think that's fair enough. But if you had the learning disability, would you think that you had a learning disability? Hmm, that's a good one. But yeah, back to Wendy Williams and people who are suffering from any type of addiction. Um, I think I think naturally we all should have compassion for each other anyway, because you just never know what anyone is going through. But if you have openly come out and told the entire world that you are undergoing treatment for something that no one ever thought you had, I think that we should all be a little compassionate towards them because it's bad enough that they're battling those demons, right? So let's just say if she sees enough backlash from the internet, like, aha, that's what you get for telling people's been like if she sees that, do you think that's gonna make her spiral out? Or do you think that's gonna make her feel stronger, right? It doesn't make sense, right? So maybe we should just go easy. Okay, here's another thing that Corey's saying. Some folks aren't comfortable with sharing their disabilities. It can be a touchy and sensitive subject for anyone to discuss. That's why having the one close friend is vitally important. It's very true. I can dig that. Um, but yeah, like for Wendy Williams and people who are suffering from whatever type of whatever type of addiction, I really do feel like we as people who are looking in should be compassionate. Because guess what? In another day or two, that could be you in a different situation. You know, when you want to when you expose how you are or whatever it is that you're, not so um, uh, strong about, or if it's a weakness, like you would want somebody to be compassionate towards you. So I think we should do the same for her. Um, let's see what else. Um, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that she deserved to have compassion? Do you think that, would you automatically assume that, oh, you just want sympathy from people and you're a horrible person? Like, how would you feel? How would you feel if someone came to you and told you that? Um, Another thing that I think we should also think about is um, it's touchy. Um, but things that we don't talk about, but we need to, like, let's talk about death, right? Okay, so this is another thing that Corey's saying, right? Take me, for instance. I have a foot fetish. For some, that's an issue. For most, it is. I don't hide it, but I'm sure there are plenty of folks who have that same issue but won't mention it. There you have it. And yes, I see your Instagram videos with the footsies, people playing with the feet and stuff. I personally don't think I don't think there's anything wrong with that unless you go to the extreme, like trying to steal people's feet or, you know, do some crazy stuff. Then that's something you might want to take care of, or at least address. Um, but death, um, we all are inevitably going to die. Um, how do you feel about talking? How do you feel about that topic? How do you feel about talking about death? And in relation to the separation, like, do you ever, like, I know we've all probably lost someone by the time we've at least hit 10, 15. I know I went to a lot of funerals when I was a kid, and half of them weren't even family. It was just people that we knew. Like, how do you feel about the topic of death? Like, do you think that you should take children to funerals? That's another thing. At what age do you think it is appropriate for children to go to funerals? Me, I'm not sure because every child is different, you know? Every kid is different. I know when I was little, I just, saw the body and all I could think about was, man, like they're never going to be able to go back to their parents. Mhm. So Corey says he already has his funeral arrangements in place. The funeral director will be in charge. The casket and the gravesite is already that makes one less headache to worry about. I agree because I don't think any child or any parent wants to bury their kid, and no kid wants to bury their parent. So yeah, that gets real touchy. And I think being prepared and having all of those things in order would be a good idea because let's just face it, when someone dies, you're already you're already just like distraught. And the last thing you want to think about is, oh my, um, now I have to go and bury people. It's like, depending on how the person died or was it a surprise, were they already sick? Hey, how are you? Juliana Mavor, nice to see you. She deserves to have compassion, even though exposing people's business is part of her job. I agree. It's a job. You know what I mean? It's a gossip show. And if you don't like what she's doing, then stop watching her show. I mean, come on, let's face it. The only reason why her show is on the air is because people keep on watching. So you guys want to see this gossip. You guys want to see the demise of others. So why would that interfere? Why should that interfere in how we treat her outside of what she's going through? Um, but I know for me, death is a touchy topic, and I do not want to have to worry about burying anybody. So I think, yes, it's great. Like what Corey said, everybody should start getting just like how you have your life insurance, put that stuff aside, put the papers aside, get that taken care of, or allot the money. So like when you go, the funeral director knows exactly what to do. So you don't have to worry about doing anything but showing up to the funeral and crying, going to the repast, and then, grieving for however long the death takes to grieve. How long do you think people should grieve? Do you think that grieving should be more than a year, less than a year? Like, how long do you think is too long for someone to grieve? I don't think there's a limit to how long someone can grieve because you're always going to miss. But I think it's the intensity of the grieving that could be cautionable. Like, let's say, for instance, like, the initial death, you're crying. But, like, if you're doing that same initial death crying for over 2, 3 years, then you probably might want to join a group that will help you, move on with your life and do other things. Um, and I don't want people to think that I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying like hurry up and move on, but what I'm saying is the person that probably died would not want you to be stuck in the place that you're at. So the best thing to do would be to, go and seek out groups. There's plenty of groups all over the place, plenty of groups that are going through the same situation that you're going through. You might want to seek out counseling so you can talk to somebody about how you feel so you can take some of that, stress off of you. And then even with that, maybe you might in turn be able to help someone during the grieving process. So I don't think there is, in my personal opinion, I don't think there is a limit to how long someone can grieve. I think though we should be careful with the how deep your grieving can go in the intensity of the grieving for over a certain amount of time. Okay, so ooh, that's a good one. Corey says, I find that when someone loses someone that they mistreated in life, that grief is more severe in death. Mm. Watch the folks who are screaming, yeah, 99% of the time is because there was unresolved issues. You know, that's true. And I said for my funeral, I wanted to have some professional wailers. Like I want people to drop over and cry over my casket, try to jump in the gravesite. Like, I want that. I want the theatrics. Yes, dying is part of living. This is Mavoie. Dying is part of living. So if children know about death, it takes mystery and feet away. I agree, but it also scares you because I was a little scared. I was a little scared when I had to, go up to the casket and see somebody in there. And I didn't understand like, that it was okay, but in the process that goes on, but it just was kind of like, I don't know. I don't think that it would have made my childhood any worse or better if I didn't go. Mystery and fear. Um, oh, it takes them in. No, 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 no. I don't think any kid needs to be exposed to a dead body too early because you don't understand. Yeah, but it does make it seem like that's part of life, I guess. But I don't know. I could have missed a few of those, I'm sure, when I was a kid. Um, Luckily, another thing too is I went to a funeral for a teenager when I was a kid. Like the kid was older than me, so I don't know. I don't remember it having too much of a distinct effect on me. I don't think it did, but I do remember like, oh, another funeral this weekend or whatever. Because I don't know. When you're a kid, you don't understand the intensity of time and all that stuff. You just go on with whatever your parents are telling you to do. Um, so yeah, I don't know. If I were to have kids, would I take them to funerals? No, probably not. I'd let them stay home. Um, you know, would I talk about death? Now, yes, I think that's something we could talk about because they do death on TV, sitcoms, drama shows, everything, so it's not like you want to hide them from it, but it's just, I don't know, maybe the age of maturity isn't really there yet. That's just me personally. Um, So, but as far as telling your kid that you will eventually die before them, ooh, that's another touchy topic. Like, you guys are parents. How old were your kids before you told them that the story of when I die or if I die and you're here left alone? Like, what age? I mean, for me, when I found out that it was possible for a parent of mine to die, I was just like, life became a little bit more real, and the innocence was chipped away some more because I was like, no, you can't die. You're supposed to live forever. You're my parent. Like, you can't. You know, it is part of life, but how young is that okay to say that it's part of life? How young? Would you take your kid to a funeral when they're 7, 8, 10, 4, 2, you know? Okay. Sorry for your loss. Um, but like, I don't know. 22 is like right after college. You're just starting your life. That's a hard age. Um, So yeah, that's a hard age, but I bet it makes you look at life a lot more different. Like you value time a little bit. Last night I was talking to Billy. If you want to watch that episode, we were talking about how valuable time is and how a lot of times we don't take advantage of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, like now, as I'm getting older, I feel like money isn't as money doesn't hold as much worth and value as time. Because you can continuously get money, however, but like the time, like you can't get that back. There's no way you can repeat that time. So I think, to me, how you spend it and how you embrace it is very, 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 very valuable. You can either lose it or you can make it more joyful. I feel like, the times where I felt like time was multiplied and doubled were times when I would, had simple conversations with people, times where I spent, eating dinner or at a table with a group of people, just chit-chatting about life, just nonsensical things, just chilling. In fact, the value of US currency is declining rapidly every day, hence the encouragement to apply for credit. Gold is the way to go. It's true. Like, that's another good topic. You know, Along with time, do you guys realize how much money you spend in a day? Do you use credit cards? Do you use cash? Like, I know when back in the day when we all just used cash, you used it more sparingly. But now with the swipe of a piece of plastic, you could just buy whatever you want and spend however you want. I guess that's how, you keep people crippled and dependent. But we all need to be free at some point. Hmm. Not going to be allowing anything, a piece of plastic, to define my worth. And we've allowed that to happen. We've allowed that to happen. And I don't care if it's a debit card or a credit card. Sometimes people overdraft that. And remember when they came out with that draft protection? Like, if you overdraft and they'll pull the money from another account, all that is just to make you feel like, oh, well, they'll just get it from another account. So I'm going to keep on swipe. Like, do you realize that, we're being conditioned to doing certain things? Like, mm-mm. And then they could track you more and send more things that you're buying your way. It's all like a plan. All of these credit cards have slowed down security. Oh, slowed down society in a way that we barely count money anymore. It's true. It's very true. And I heard like years ago that they were going to probably get rid of paper currency. I heard that. And I'm pretty sure we're getting close to that. I remember I refused to use a credit card at the grocery store. I thought that was ridiculous. And then also at the fast food store, I was like, shoot, if you got to use a credit card at the grocery store, you must not have no money. And guess what? I use my credit card and um at the grocery store and at the fast food place whenever I go. And I'm like, I gotta break that habit, break that cycle. But here's the caveat. I use the credit card like if I have personal cash. It's just, because I know that I have the cash doesn't mean I need to spend it. So I'm going to try to start again, just budgeting and allotting myself only a certain amount in cash and not to use the credit card. And then they try to swoon you along by saying, oh, you can get double points. But it's like for every dollar, you get like 1 point. So, like, if you have 50,000 points, that means like I have $50,000. Did I spend $50,000? No. Is it really something that you get that's worth? Nah, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. And I think that's probably why they're changing up the math for the kids, because you no longer are going to be using whatever. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about that kind of math, because to me, the parents don't even know how to help their kids with that kind of math. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I also saw something else on Instagram today where uh, it was a cartoon comic strip. And there was a man saying, I don't want to let um, something, what was it? He said, I don't want to let these people come and take my job. And then the robot was like, you don't have to worry about them. Because it's the honest truth. The robots are going to take your minuscule jobs. So I think while I love technology and I think technology is great, we have to be careful and start putting limits to how it controls us. Credit cards are debit, are debt. Today in Trenton, Government Murphy signed a bill which eliminates card-only stores. This should hopefully pave the way for reintroducing it. Oh, good. Good, because I went to a couple of corporate companies where they didn't have a person. It was just the convenience and then a computer. I was like, "What?" I like to talk to people. I want to give my whatever to people. I'm glad he signed that bill because we're getting too far away from humanistic, humanistic traits. I'm not a robot. I don't want to conform to being a robot ever. How would you guys feel if a robot started doing your job? Hmm? I wouldn't like that. I want to be useful, whether it be for making money or not. I want to be useful. I want to be able to communicate with other human beings and all of that good stuff. Like, I want to be useful. And I think the more we try to entertain being useful, the more we will be progressing as a culture, as a race. And maybe the communication will get better. Because, like, right now, there's, a separation. And with a separation, you can't understand anything. If there's, like, you don't know the true content or the nature of a person if you have separation, you know? And how do we tie all of this in together? You want to spend more time with people. You want to learn how to count again. You want to learn how to show compassion to people who are going through difficult situations and addictions. And you want to learn how to enjoy life. You see how everything tied together, what we were talking about? And while we're enjoying life, we can also enjoy death. Because while death is hard, we can celebrate that the person lived and that the person was a good influence in our life and that they impacted us in a great way. And maybe you can take some of their characteristics and try to show others how, life can be great, you know? Um, Technology is slowly becoming a curse. The next time you visit Garden Plaza Mall, check out mobile, the robotic. Oh gosh. But remember those movies kind of gave us a prequel of what was going to happen. I use my credit card to get frequent flyer miles, but I pay most of it off to reduce my finances charges. I ignored the offers to it. I agree. Like, I have a zero balance as well, but your frequent flyer miles. Okay, let's just say to use your frequent flyer miles, you need to spend for a $300 ticket, you need to spend 50,000 points. So, how is that saving you any money? Like, I don't understand, like, how that is. I don't understand. So it's like, oh, you feel like you're getting a free ticket, but you already used the money. You already paid. Like, I'm not saying no offense to you at all, because it's a great thing to feel like you're not having to put the money out right then and there, but you already did. So I don't know. I feel like they're just shackling us with certain things. But remember what I just said. Everything that we just discussed, it ties all together. Increase my credit line, don't want to incur more debit. Yes, it's true. It's true. And they only value you through numbers. You get it? That's another true thing too. We're only valued by numbers, right? So they don't know my name, they know my social security number. And that's who they associate me by. We're all just numbers. We're all barcodes. And they don't want to tell you that, but that's the truth. We're all barcodes. And for us to continue staying in that barcode life, we have to have credit cards. We have to have a social security card. We have to register everywhere we go, our identity. You know, it's crazy. Yes, and that's how I started doing, but I need to get back into that discipline of not overspending. Cause like half of the things and I end up buying is because I have the credit card. If I had the cash, then I would walk right by. I would walk right by. And I think that I'm pretty good with my credit. Like my credit is really good. But, you know, what difference does it make, you know? I mean, it will make a difference when I want to buy a house. My credit score will definitely, put me in a good place. But other than that, like I don't know, man. I think that we're like pawns in a way. And we just have to be careful how we continue to be um, taught or showed how to do, you know? So, again, what we talked about tonight, we talked about how to be compassionate for people. We talked about how to maybe talk to our children about death and how we can embrace death and how we can prepare for it because I never thought about, oh, let me get my papers in order right now so it'll be taken care of for later. Um, we also talked about going back to being human again, being prepared for our credits, not overspending. Again, there's nothing wrong with credit cards, but I think for those who are not responsible with credit cards, they're the ones that they want. They don't want people like me that pay everything off at the end of the month. And I'm not worth them. I'm not worth anything to them because I'm not indebted to them. Hmm. So, it is what it is. We have to start buying land. Exactly. Once you own land, you can decide what's built on it. People with land is yes, but you still have to pay taxes on that land. So, Uncle Caesar's still gonna get his money regardless. And then once you build on that land, now you have to pay even more. So we never get away unless you move to Puerto Rico where they don't have that kind of land tax, or the Caribbean where I don't believe that all of the Caribbean has that land tax. Um, so, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I think that we should definitely try to prepare ourselves financially. You know, for those who have children, um, it's never too early to start showing them how to save. Like, I am so thankful for my parents because the first thing they showed me as a kid was how to save. And they always instilled, you better save, 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 save. Like, I used to be like, oh, can we go to the bank? Because I wanted to deposit my little $20. So they prepared me for being financially fit. They prepared me for that. So I'm thankful for that. And I think every parent should do that for their kid. Take them, I don't care how old they are. Now that's someplace you can take the kid. Shoot, if I ever have kids or if I adopt or whatever, the first thing that they do as soon as they can start understanding at 5, I think 5 is a perfect age. We're gonna go to the bank, have them, show them how to fill out a deposit slip, how to, speak to people, how to communicate what you need, and then also make a deposit. Show them how important saving money is. So by the time they get to 18, 19, they'll have a nice little stack. You know what I mean? And plus that graduation money, maybe they want to go to higher education. Maybe by the time that they've finished saving, they could buy their own house and their land. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't want that for their child? And they could always turn and be like, Mom and Dad, you did that for me. And my parents, I can say that to them, Mom and Dad, you guys did that for me. Because I will always remember if there was one bright spot in my childhood, it was when I wanted to go deposit money. And so that when I got paid different jobs, I never spent the money. I just put it aside and I just worked because I wanted to work, not because I had to. I wanted to work and meet people. Stocks and bonds certificate. Yeah, that's true. But stocks and bonds, you have to be careful with the stocks because they go up and down every day. I think, you have to get in it good, have people that know about the stocks and bonds and see what they can do to help you, pick and choose the right things and when to get out of those things. Um, yeah, I think that you know, having that cash is also important too, because it seems like in this world, cash rules everything and it tells you what and who you're going to be and how well you're going to be respected. That's cash, not credit. Any stock in social media is a hit. That's true. Like Instagram, I'm sure is a perfect stock to have because, I don't know about you, but I'm on Instagram all day mainly for business. That's what I do on Instagram. Speaking of business, oh, also, I just want to remind you guys to make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you see me on here. As I said, I'll be on here every night between 7 and 9. That's when I'll start. I try my best to be on here every single night. Um, and on the 30th, if anybody is around, investing is also extremely important. It's very true. So you can invest and be the difference, okay, Juliana? I'm just joking. um, but and you already do. You support me and I'm appreciative of that. Definitely. And that's my aunt, everybody. Um, definitely support. And I'm definitely thankful for you and my cousins because they support too. So I'm never ever gonna forget how you guys just openly support me. Um, but as far as what I'm going to be doing, so on the 30th, I have another speaking engagement. It's at a woman empowerment um, luncheon. And what I like about it is they're going to do vision boards. So I still don't know what I'm going to completely talk about yet, but I hope that it brings encouragement to some of them out there, whoever attends. That'll be my third or fourth speaking engagement that I've done. um, so you guys keep me in your prayers that I do a good job and I'm impactful. Um, let's see what else. Tomorrow we're in college. Hopefully we can encourage the college students. It's just for selling that day. Hopefully we'll get some books out. Um, and then on April 27th, I'm going to be doing a art gallery show and book signing. That's going to be cool. It's going to be in Hoboken on April 27th at 8 p.m. in Hoboken. It's hosted by the Antique Loft. So I'm excited about that because I get to be in the realm of artsy people and like these artists. I've seen their work. They have these beautiful paintings. It's just masterpieces to me, and just to be honored amongst them in the same room, I think that's really dope. Um, and outside of that, go on the website, see if there's things you like and purchase and share. Corey, I still am like heavily thinking about that New York thing. So you let me know what's good with that because I was thinking about it today at work. Like that'd be so cool just to talk to people and encourage them. And on the streets of New York, like that right there is really cool. Because you never know who's going through whatever. So I like that. I like that idea a lot. Um, what else? Oh, and then also, I don't know if you guys realize this, but I do have another talk show. It's called the Jenny and Joy Show. It's on every Wednesday at 2 p.m. So you can always go to the Jenny and Joy channel, like and subscribe there. Is also turn on your notification bell. That show is pretty much a cool, funky, comedic show. So we just want to lighten everybody's mood. Um, for that particular show. So, it is what it is. I'm just trying to move and shake around here and hopefully shake in the right direction for people. Also getting my health in. I go every Monday, Tuesday. I know you told me, yeah, let's make it happen. Maybe like a Saturday would be cool. I could do during the week too. I'll just go on vacation. I'll do it on vacation if it's during the week. I don't mind. Um, but fitness too, guys, try to make sure you get your fitness in, whether you're walking, whether you're doing whatever. Like, you think that they're trying to control us by our credits, but they're also controlling us by what we eat and how long the longevity of our lives. So try to eat as healthy as possible, detox as often as you can. Um, Detox is not just taking a dump, for lack of other words. It's more so just renewing your blood, renewing all of that other stuff in your system, helping the cells regenerate itself. So that's what I mean by detox. And there's nothing wrong with that. Find a good herbalist. I think I'm going to have somebody on that is a herbalist or into that, and he'll have us talking about that. I'm going to eat. If he's not on the show, I'm definitely going to have him on the Our Lives Seen Through My Eyes series. I'm definitely going to have him do that because I think it's important, especially for African Americans, to really take care of our health because we are, like you said, you called me a queen, you're a king, and we need to preserve our heritage. We really do. And taking care of our bodies, taking care of our hygiene, those all things help us think better. And I always will never stop reiterating that those things help us think better. One show should be on the topic of food, desserts. Most of them are in urban community. That's true. I was at the bodega today because I was like, I wanted to do my laundry, but I wanted to snack on something. It's very true. Like they put all of the trashy food. Again, lack of better words, they put all of that stuff in the neighborhoods, in the urban areas. In the urban areas, there's a corner store every corner. It seems like, and they don't have anything healthy, and all the healthy stuff is like 5.99 and above. And mind you, some people don't have vehicles to go to the supermarket and pay less, so it ends up costing them the same amount. So like we have to think about that. Maybe we should talk about, like, doing gardens in your community. That's another thing, like, doing a community garden. This will teach children responsibility on how to take care of living creatures outside of themselves. You know what I mean? Like all of these things, you know, takes time. And what it will do is take us away from watching TV all the time. It'll bring us back to our roots, which was being human. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember what being human was all about? Having a human experience. Does anybody remember that? I do. And I think we need to bring it back. Like my dad has a beautiful, beautiful big backyard. And every year he gardens. And every year I slowly say no to this stuff. And I'm like, this is the most organic stuff there. You know, Racism. I mean, look, racism within its own race is high. That right there, I don't think that has ever gone anywhere, and we just don't even notice it. It's just history repeating itself. Slavery to like modern day, what we're doing, it's just repeating itself. We're trying to break the cycle right now, right? And breaking the cycle means that we have to start thinking differently. And in order for us to think differently, it takes time for us to sit down collectively and talk. If you're talking amongst yourselves, there shouldn't be any competition. That's the point. That's the idea, right? That there won't be competition if we're all on the same level. How come we can't be all on the same level? Why does one person or a few people think that they have to know more than another person to validate themselves? No, no, no. Then that means that you have a weakness that you need to work on. And as a community, we should be able to feel comfortable talking about our weaknesses and working on them together collectively so that we can be stronger. Like, what's wrong with that? Why can't we think that way? Why can't we, you know, I know, I know we're in a fallen world, but why does it have to stay fallen? Who said that it has to stay fallen? It's true. United, we bargain, divided, we beg. It's true. It's true. Stop allowing things to keep us in debt and to keep us in debt mentally as well. You know what I'm saying? Like the chemicals in the chemicals in the food, don't help us think as clearly as we can, right? Just think about it. The better we eat, the more we can think, the more healthy we are, the more we can do for each other. A sick person can't help me. They can only watch me, but I can help a sick person. But I would rather a sick person be healthy so we can to collectively help others. Remember that. The healthier we are, the better we are. The longer we can live and enjoy life. You know what I mean? Like enjoy life. Like I I said this last night too. I don't want to be 75 years old or 85 years old if I'm living that long being dependent on somebody to change a diaper. All because maybe if I ate a little better in my youth, I wouldn't need this ability, would not need the help. I mean, think about it. I'm not crazy. I'm just saying the more we open our minds, the more we'll be like, you know what, that might be something. You don't have to consider everything and take everything to heart, but it's about opening your mind a little bit more than just the mainstream. Take off the TV, sit down and read a book. When's the last time we read a book about something? Does anybody remember about the deep blue sea, anything like that? Like, does anybody remember nature? Like, how far have we gone from nature? How far? How far have we gone from nature? Like, we have at my job, we have plants and we stopped the plant service, and nobody's watering the plants. Like, those are living things. Those are living things. Like, when I start seeing that the plants were getting brown, I was like, wait a second, what's going on? I haven't seen the plant people watering. So now I take it upon myself to at least water them once a week because they're living. If I can take care of a plant, then I'll be entrusted with more. I'll be entrusted with greater things, greater human beings, right? We have to take care of the same thing that we give carbon monoxide is the same thing that gives us air. Hmm. Take care of our environment because it takes care of us too, right? If we treat the environment like trash, we're going to receive trash. Yep, now they have audiobooks. Oh my goodness, I don't like audiobooks. I want to touch, like you're taking away the sensory too when you can't touch paper. Audiobooks, again, I'm not knocking all this advancement in technology, but remember, it's taking away your sensories. And we need to remember our sensories, you know? We need to remember our sensories. And when you listen to an audiobook, that means now you can split your mind and do other things and do five other things at the same time. That's not how the human mind is supposed to work. We're supposed to work on one thing. Oh, and then you wonder why people have ADHD because we're doing too many things at one time. And it's not even grown anymore. Now it's just like we're forcing it on ourselves. And again, I'm victim of this too. But I'm starting to slow down. I don't remember the last time I turned my TV on was like 3 weeks ago. And that's when I started this show. You get it? Since I turned the TV off, I focused on this show, and now we're having communications about life. Yeah. Hey, Clem. Now we're talking about life. And I think the more we talk about life, the more we realize how valuable it is, right? Like right now, just talking about it, I feel empowered and I feel like I need to do more with my time in a positive way. So like I turned the TV off. I'm no longer focused on watching a program or just letting it talk to me because now I'm focused on okay, now I need to build another website. While I'm doing that, now I need to think of other things to talk about. While I'm doing that, now I need to think about different foods that I can eat that'll make me healthier. You know what I mean? Now I can meditate more on different things. I have time to do more things, more activities, go to the gym. Like Whether I go to the gym 3, 4 times a week, it doesn't matter, but at least I'm letting the blood flow and I'm talking to other human beings. I'm understanding like the stories that I hear sometimes is just heartbreaking. And I'm just like, wow, to realize that people really go through stuff and it is what it is. But until we, and it makes me more compassionate, but until we start listening to each other's stories, then that human part is going to take longer to come in. So we have to start talking. I think even when I was younger, we used to have times where everybody got together, sat down and talked. I think that we need to start doing more of those things. Sit down and talk. The meetups are great. The meetups are great examples of that, where people who have like mind interest things get together and do those things. But I think we need to start doing more of these talks with each other. Whoever you're surrounding yourself around, we need to do more of these things so that we can get back to being human again, get back to loving. Because once you have compassion for another human being, then that just increases the love capacity that you have in you. Because we all have that capacity to love. I know we do. It's just if you don't train it, guess what? If you don't train it, you don't use it, you abuse it, right? And you won't know how to share it. Hmm, right? Compassion equals love equals treating each other better. Amen. We are all better together. And this conversation that we're having now, and the dialogue that we're all having now, it's only making us better. It's only making us and encouraging us more. And I hope out of all of it, it helps us to just a little bit more love more and be compassionate and be more of aware of how we do things, how we function around other people and what we surround ourselves. Now, trust me, there are people who are bad in this world that maybe you shouldn't be by. Because I could think of maybe one or two people that are probably toxic for me, and I should stay away from. But it doesn't mean that you should stay away from them. You know what I mean? Now I have to remember that there are certain things that I have to like if something inside of me is saying no to a person, there's a reason because I don't say no to people at all. Me when I say no, meaning like surrounding myself around it, there's a red flag in me and I need to stick with that because every time I ignored my red flag, those same people burn me and I can't allow that anymore. So know who your red flags are, but it doesn't mean that other people can't be around them, but you can still be effective for others. And then maybe with practicing more compassion, maybe then you would be able to communicate with that person who might have been toxic at that point in your life. Because then you'll be able to deal or handle whatever they're bringing to the table, right? So you can't write them off all completely, but for now, those people that I have that red flag for, I have to write them off because there's a reason why. There's a reason why. And I'm not going to ignore those reasons. So we can be compassionate. We've learned tonight, we've learned how to be compassionate. We've learned the age that we should maybe talk to our children about death, how to prepare for death so that those who mourn don't have to mourn about what's next and how to take care of the person who passed away. Um, we've learned that credit cards are nice and they're good, but we can't allow them to master us and control us. We've learned that it's better to learn how to count with paper money and not allow those same credit cards to make us forget how to count. We've learned to be compassionate to those who are going through um, depression. Well, not even just depression, but who are going through like maybe a drug treatment program, no matter what kind of job they have. We were talking about Wendy Williams. We also learned that to be human again means that we have to cut out a lot of the stuff that we might enjoy, like frivolous things like the TV. There's really nothing. You know, there's really nothing on TV that should hold our attention for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. You know what I mean? Like that Netflix is a beautiful thing. Nothing not knocking Netflix at all. But I know if I'm getting my hair done and my cousin turns on that one series, I end up watching like 9 or 10 episodes within that 1 or 2 hours. And I'm zoned in. So we just have to set healthy boundaries for things that we like to enjoy, right? It's about that too, because it's not to say that we have to like cut everything out, but it's just to enjoy it and realize what's more important. We also learned how um, how with communication, what we ingest in our bodies really affects how we do communicate and how we operate as a functioning person. And we also learned that detoxing on a regular basis, there's nothing wrong with that because you want your body to circulate the blood. You want your body to get clean. You want your body to regenerate because it does. You know, new skin cells form all the time. But if you have something, you don't want toxic to regenerate toxic. You want good generation to flush out the toxic. And then toxic comes out, but healthy toxic. And then it to be flushed out again, right? Simple as that. Anyway, I want to say thank you guys for joining me to for another edition of Hello World, where we just chat about any and everything. Remember to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, tell everybody you know about the show. If you ever want to call in, just let me know. You can text me, DM me. We can have a conversation together. I don't always have to talk by myself to you. You can always call in. We can talk about anything because this particular show is about just healing. Tomorrow, I want to talk about depression, but this particular show is about healing and to bring togetherness back. Interestingly enough, Netflix is the largest movie company on the earth. They don't own a single movie. That's true. That's true. I wish I was on that Netflix team. Anyway, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate the dialogue. It was wonderful. I definitely enjoyed it. Thank you again for tuning in. And I hope that you have the rest of a beautiful night and the rest of a wonderful week ahead of you. And don't even worry about the week. Just take everything day by day. Enjoy everything. Love life. Love the people you're around. Love the people who surround you. And until then, hello, world.